Welcome to this Understanding Financial Aid session here, hosted by Illinois Institute of Technology. My name is Yuji. I am the Assistant Director of First Year Missions, and I do still have a territory that I travel to and meet prospective students, school counselors, and parents if they're there. I mostly recruit at the west suburbs and the northwest suburbs. We have other counselors who are in different territories. If you need help, feel free to just reach out to us. My email is listed here. You can jot it down and send me follow-up emails later on, or if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to drop it into the chat box or save it to the end of the presentation. All right, let's take a look at the agenda very quickly. Today, we're just going to go for the introduction quite quickly. The financial aid process will take 5 minutes to introduce, and we're going to look into different jargons that are being used in the financial aid package. And there are different types of aids that we are going to go over as well. Of course, we're going to spend a little bit time getting your questions answered if you have any. So let's get started. So I know financial aid is a very complex subject, and you probably wonder where should you start. And this financial aid timeline is mainly for high school seniors right now. If you are younger than a high school senior, this will be very useful during your senior year. So throughout August to December, it will be best for you to research and apply to colleges. And when the October 1st approach, definitely trying to fill out the FAFSA or the alternative application as soon as you can, because that's how the university will get your family's financial situation and use the information to calculate your financial aid package. And the next timeline really depends, but most schools will start their institutional scholarships applications starting at the September, where in the beginning of your high school senior year. And you can also start applying to outside scholarships too. By outside scholarship, I mean any scholarships that are not associated with the college or university that you're applying to. So Pepsi has a great scholarship, or the bridge scholarship, so plenty of other resources that you can utilize. And the good thing about that is you can transfer to whatever university that you'll be attending if you want the scholarship. And when it gets to February to March, colleges will start to release their financial aid offer. And that is the full financial aid offer, which documents like your tuition rate, the room and board rate, how much scholarships did you receive from the institution, and how much aid do you receive from the federal government. So that will be the big financial aid package that you should be on the lookout for around late February to March. And hopefully, if you did everything correctly and have all your information calculated, and you will have the information for you to make the decision on where you are enrolling by May 1st, which is the National Decision Day. Some schools just use this as like a preferred deadline. Some schools have a hard deadline. So it really just depends on the institution you're interested in enrolling. Definitely check out the website to make sure what they do. Does the institution prefer you to submit your enrollment? All right. So what is financial aid specifically? I know this term has been thrown around quite a bit. So when you apply to college, you will need to know the cost of attendance and any scholarship, grants, loans, and work study that are available to you. And these conglomerates are also called financial aid. Because it documents all the things that you might have to pay out of pocket and what you might receive to offset those costs of attendance. So we are going to break it down to you in the next slide. So When you hear the term cost of attendance, I think that is a very general term, but is pretty self-explanatory. It refers to the total amount of money that you need to pay for your education. Usually you can find this on the institution that you're applying to on their financial aid page. However, cost of attendance by itself does not include your scholarship, your loan options, and any state aid that are available to you. So don't look at it as the potential money without the potential money you can receive, because it might look pretty big. Some schools put up their tuition, room and board rate, and the student fees, and all those together is easily over $50,000, for example. But that is only a sticker price. You cannot really take this number into consider into your bank and say, oh, this is how much I need for my education, without considering the potential money that you can receive. So I just would like to use Illinois Tech as an example. This is the cost of attendance chart that you can find on our website, and I just screenshot it. So you can see that we have two set of courses that I lay out over here. And the first set of costs, I would call those the billable costs, which are the costs that the university is actually asking you to pay towards the education for that academic year. So tuition, fees, room, and then board are the billable costs that you have to pay in order to, become a student there. Some schools does not require you to live on campus if you live closer, if you live within the same state, or you live within the same county, things like that. So these are things that are terms that you have to look into for each of the individual schools that you have applied to. But for the sake of this example, let's say I'm a student from New York, then I will have to look into tuition, fees, room and board, all added together. And non-billable costs will be the cost that will go toward books, transportation, personal and miscellaneous, and loan fees. Those items are not billable because everyone will have a different spendage on these items. If I live at New York and I have to come all the way here to Illinois to attend IIT, then my transportation probably will look greater than this number. But if I'm an in-state student, then I probably would not even use more than $500 that academic year to go from my home to Illinois Tech. So these are just how I would interpret any chart that I would see on the financial aid website. For the general public, I think it's the best to just focus on tuition, fees, and room and board, because those are the hard number that this school is asking students to pay for their education. So scholarship and grants are another two terms that we hear a lot. So whenever you hear those two terms, those refer to free money that you can receive from the college or universities, and you don't have to pay those money back. Some are offered upon admission based on your merits or by your application, and some you have to fill out the FAFSA in order to be considered. And for example, in our website, you can see that we have a list of first-year domestic scholarship referring to first year in the students in the United States are qualified for potentially to these scholarships, and you just have to click into it to see what are the requirements in order to apply, and when you have to submit those scholarship application by. So it's very important that you do your research early on so you don't miss any deadlines and you can maximize the amount of money that you can get from that university. And the next one is a big probably roadblock in many students' life because it is a very complex thing to understand, and that is the FAFSA that I'm referring to. FAFSA stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. And I encourage all eligible students to apply to the FAFSA as soon as it opens, which is October 1st of every year. And for high school seniors, I hope that you already start doing the FAFSA. And you can fill out the FAFSA as long as you are the US citizen, permanent residence or green card holder, individual who has an arrival departure record or I-94 from the US Citizens and Immigration Service. And I want to stress that parents' immigration status does not influence students' eligibility. So as long as the student fit one of these requirements, you are able to fill out the FAFSA without any issue. And just a reminder, October 1st of every year, you have to fill the FAFSA. And even after you become a college student, you will still have to fill it out until you complete your college education. And if you wonder why is the FAFSA necessary, that is because that individual financial aid office at different colleges needs the information to generate financial aid offer, and allows you to get access to more forms of aids. Some private scholarships even require FAFSA as part of the application process, so they can offer you some more money. So it is very important for you to fill out the FAFSA. However, if you have any difficulty filling out the FAFSA, I have some pro tips on how to fill out the FAFSA. Make sure that you file for the correct school year. So for students in high school right now, you are filing for the year of 2023 to 2024 when you are actually in college. And FAFSA will ask you the tax return from the prior year. So you would just subtract 2 years from 2023. So this is a typo, I apologize. You will have to use your tax return, parents' tax return from 2021 in order to fill out the FAFSA. And when you are filling out the FAFSA, it will ask you to supply them with a college list that you are applying to, and you have to add those colleges to the FAFSA so the college will receive those information. And the best way to add a school is to search your federal code so you don't miss any school that might have share a similar name. Such as Roosevelt University, there might be another one outside of Illinois that share the same name. So a federal code will ensure that you are entering the correct school into the system. And FAFSA is a form that you can edit throughout the time that you are in high school. So you should update your FAFSA if any information changes, including the school on file. Let's say you apply to more than 10 schools and it already maxed out the number of slots on the FAFSA school list, then you can go back after a couple of days and erase the school and add more schools to the FAFSA and submit it again. And once you fill out the FAFSA, there are potential student aids that you can receive from them. And these are, again, most of them are free money like Pell Grant, MAP Grant, Federal Supplemental Education Opportunity Grant or FSEOG. Students will also receive any eligible federal staffer loans and work study opportunities. And just make sure that you have access to all those information by filling out the correct financial situation on the FAFSA. And I want to talk a little bit more about federal loans because I feel like we sometimes have misconceptions about federal loans because loans by itself sounds a little bit daunting. However, if it's necessary, federal loans can totally be an option for you to finance your education. Federal loans are money that you have to pay back, and they are available through the FAFSA application. Once you fill it out, like I said, the FAFSA will use the information to see if you are qualified for any loans. They are generally offered in subsidized or unsubsidized and sometimes in parent loans. Please note that even though the FAFSA said that you qualify for subsidized, unsubsidized, and parent loans, it does not mean that you have to take them out. It's simply there as an option for you if you want to utilize it. And I want to break down the difference between those couple types of loans so you have a better understanding of them when you see them listed on your financial aid package. So subsidized loans are loans when the interests are being paid while you are in school at least half time by the Department of Education. You will have 6 months of grace period after your graduation before you need to pay back the loan. Undergrad borrowers or students who are going to college for the first times will have the interest rate of 4.99%. For unsubsidized loans, those are the loans that students will be responsible for paying the interest during all period of time. 6 months of grace period after graduation as well, before you need to pay back the loan, but the interest will be occurring during those times. And the interest rate is also 4.99%. One thing I want to stress is that federal student loans is more understanding of student situation. For example, during the pandemic, they actually adjust the interest rate to 0%. So I think if you have to take out loans at any point, definitely prioritize taking out subsidized and unsubsidized loan provided by the FAFSA rather than considering other source of loans from a bank or somewhere else. And another keyword that you might see while you're filling out the FAFSA might be work study. And that is a very small question on the FAFSA that would ask you, would you like to be considered for work study? And to that, I hope that you will select yes. If not, you can go back and adjust that answer, because work study is money that you can earn from working on an on-campus job if available. You can seek appropriate opening and apply for those positions like a real job if they're being offered to you and you see it on your financial aid package. So for me, for example, I got a position at the English department and during my undergrad years, and I earned my pocket money through that job. You can use that money towards your pocket money or towards your tuition. And I did see a question pop up, and yes, the IIT does have work study program, but like I said, it's not offered to everyone. You have to look at your financial aid package to see whether you qualify for it. Great question. All right, so just a quick recap of different types of money that are available to you. So money you can earn is called a work study. The money you can borrow are in the form of subsidized, unsubsidized, and parent loan. Free money refers to anything that has grants, scholarships in the name of it. And you can also apply to outside scholarships that are not affiliated with any colleges or universities. All right, just a little quick check-in. I just have this simple true or false questions. If anyone can type your answer into the chat, that would be much appreciated. So true or false, filling out the FAFSA automatically assumes the parent and myself, the student, are responsible for paying for college because of our information are submitted. Yes, it's definitely false. Thank you for those who sent in the answer. Just because you submitted information and you get a financial aid package and loans or subsidized, unsubsidized parent loans are listed there. It does not mean that you have to take out those loans or those are automatically your loans to pay back because you actually have to sign off on the loan and agree that you will be taking on the loan before it will be under your name. So yeah, great on doing that. True and false. Awesome. And I know that FAFSA is a very complex form. And if it ever comes to a time that you need help in breaking down the question or actually just trying to understand what they are asking, then here are a few resources that you can utilize. The first one, definitely trying to call the FAFSA hotline with the number listed here. And the studentaid.gov, where you access the FAFSA form, also has a extensive glossary of like different terms that they use on the FAFSA, and they really break it down to you and explain to you what are those terms referring to. If you ever get confused and you don't need immediate assistance, then studentaid.gov would be a great resource to use. For those who are in Illinois, Illinois Student Assistance Commission, or ISAC, is a nonprofit organization that focuses on providing help on the financial aid side of things. So they are a great resource. I know that they are doing different workshops around the city in English and in Spanish. If anyone needs it, definitely give them a call, or trying to check out their website, or just simply typing in ISAC on Google will land you on their page. All right, and last but not least, you can also reach out to the colleges that you apply to, specifically their financial aid office if you have any questions, because they will be the expert in like troubleshooting any financial aid issues in case you submitted something incorrectly on the FAFSA and you just caught it last minute and you already received your financial aid offer. So definitely try to reach out to the correct department to get the most immediate help. ISAC is not servicing Illinois resident only. If you have any question, I bet you can give them a call. But I think they would specifically work within Illinois territories. All right, and next I want to touch on a topic that some students might need additional assistance on, is that what if I cannot fill out the FAFSA because of my immigration status? For Illinois students, we can fill out the RISE or alternative application in order to be considered for the amount of MAP grant. And applications are made available on the ISAC website that I talked about previously. And I also did a QR code that will take you directly to the website and to the application itself in case you need to fill out the RISE application rather than the FAFSA. So I'm just gonna put it up here for a few more seconds before I change the slide. All right. And for international students, on the other hand, you should apply for merit aids in all institutions that you are considering, because you will not be eligible to fill out the FAFSA. So you should really rely on those merit aid that looks at your, grades, your activities, whether or not it's also submitting application, scholarship application, etc. Fill out all the merit aids scholarships that you can find to at all the institutions that you're considering will be the best move. Apply to a handful of outside scholarships and discuss any finance issues with family and financial aid office early on. In fact, there's never too early for discussing finances for international students. Reach out as early as you would like in your high school career, so we can help you strategize and point you in the right direction, or even just sharing like scholarship lists with you will really help down the line. And I want to point out that other than schools that are offering these amazing scholarships, there are other websites on the web also offering a handful of scholarships, resources, and all these websites that I talk about here would have like a list of scholarships that are available to different students. All you have to do is to log in and check out their information online and see what is this scholarship offered to, and if you qualify to apply for it. Sometimes the scholarship is specifically for a student in certain major or with certain interests or with certain ethnic background. So it is really important for you to check out all these scholarship resources on the line and get it as much as application in as possible. All right, I know I talk quickly through all the information because there is plenty of information to digest. So I do want to leave a little bit time at the end to see if you have any questions. So the question in the chat box is that when does Illinois tax official financial aid package come out, and where should I look for it, in mail or email? So Vivian, that's a great question. Illinois tax financial aid package come out along the same time as other institutions. So around March is the general timeline, maybe is around mid-March. I would suggest to ask your son and daughter to, or yourself, sorry, I just automatically assume parents attending this webinar, so I apologize. Check the email once we release the financial aid package. We will send out an email to the student and they can access it on their portal. When does the second term start? I assume that is the academic term at Illinois Tech, and that the spring term will start just started last week, Monday. Is there a waiver code for the application? Illinois Tech application is free to apply for everyone, so you don't need a waiver code to apply. The estimated annual cost, I have attached that previously. So we can just scroll back here. Just by looking at tuition, fees, room and board, the approximate cost for last year's student is around $66,000. Any other questions about financial aid? Do I require it? The Illinois Tech application does not require any official test scores from ACT or SAT because we're being test optional indefinitely now. Illinois Tech have an RA system or students, perhaps students who are. We do have an RA system in which that each floor is being monitored by a residential assistants who are mostly students, and we also have hall directors. Yes, there are other exams that are necessary for international students, and those will most likely be the language test scores that you will have to submit. What is FastPass and how can I get a loan from a bank? So Illinois Tech only focuses on breaking down different financial aid options from the federal side and the institutional side. And we are not affiliated with any like private loans. So if you want to, you can reach out to banks by yourself. But our suggestion is that please consider taking out the federal loans first before reaching out to other source of loans. Do I require a minimum school credit? Yes, and that information is all on our website, Jill, and I can send you to those website and take a look. We do take AP scores, and if you have any questions about what kind of AP scores we take, you can just Google search IIT AP scores, and the page should pop up automatically. Yep, thank you, David, for sharing the link. And I just shared a link of IIT undergraduate international admission. So you can look into what kind of requirements that we're asking our international students to supply.